11th August 2026. Good day, dear aspirants. Current affairs for this day compiled will give you good content regarding those topics which are in news. Welcome to Decode UPSC. We will decode the current affairs which are in news and which have a lot of significance with respect to our preparation. So, have you heard about Betwa River? Earlier in our classes, we were discussing regarding Betwa River. So, in which aspect did we discuss about Betwa River? Ken Betwa project. So, there is a project proposed by government linking Ken as well as Betwa project. So, approximately 44,000 crore rupees project. 44,000 crore rupees project. So, in response to this, tribals at in response to that, few tribals at Madhya Pradesh so started protesting to stop this project or to give them fair compensation. So that is why these two rivers are in use. And for today's class, we will discuss about Betwa River. What are the geographical aspects of this Betwa River? This Betwa River rises near Bhopal, Rising district, near Bhopal, so Rising district in the Vindhya Hills, approximately 460 meters. It is the right bank tributary of river Yamuna. It is a right bank tributary of river Yamuna, not Ganga, remember. So precisely you need to remember it is a right bank or left bank tributary. In several exams they asked, they will give you one river and they will ask you whether it is right bank or left bank tributary of river. And it flows through northeast through Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh and joins Yamuna near Hamirpur. Hamirpur, it joins near river Yamuna. So remember at what point the river joins Yamuna. This is also very significant for our exam. Hamirpur, Uttar Pradesh. Total length is 590 kilometers. 358 kilometers in Uttar Pradesh and 232 kilometers in Madhya Pradesh. Next, nearly half of its non-navigable course runs over the Malwa plateau before entering into the Bundelkhand. So before it enter into the Bundelkhand, it runs over Malwa plateau. It runs over Malwa plateau. Another important thing we have to remember is that so major tributary of Betwa river are Jamni and Dasan. Jamni and Dasan are the major tributary rivers dammed at Dukwan and Diogar for irrigation. So this Betwa river is dammed at Dukwan and Diogar specifically for irrigation. So core of the Ken Betwa project, as I already discussed, that it forms the core project of Ken Betwa linking project. So mentioned in the Mahabharata, Chedi kingdom capital Suptimati stood on its bank. So historic town Orcha sits on the Betwa river bank. So and yesterday it was in news. On 11th it was in news because so water level near Vidisha, Madhya Pradesh after heavy rain have risen sharply. So raising the concerns regarding the Betwa river. So Betwa river is in news. We know from the past 1 year it is in news because of Ken Betwa project and various protests are being conducted to stop this project or to give them fair compensation. So with respect to this, we have looked about the geographical aspects. These are all the terms which we need to remember precisely. It is a right bank tributary or left bank tributary, and how much part of it's navigable and in which states it is flowing through and approximately how many kilometers the river is. So all these have larger scope questions being framed from this area. Next, moving forward, we have Kala Burgai Fort. Kala Burgi Fort. So, have you heard about it anywhere? Have you heard about it? So, several kingdoms, these Kalaburgi fort have witnessed several kingdoms. So, both the dynasties ruled by Vedic religion following dynasties and also Islamic religion following dynasties. So, but yet the fort stood tall, witnessing several dynasties. So, it is in news. Why it is in news is that so recently MP member of parliament from that area so have seek the help of Ministry of Culture seek the help of Ministry of Culture for approval of nearly 20 crore rupees, nearly 20 crore rupees to rejuvenate the product. What do you mean by rejuvenate? to repair, simply in simple terms, to repair or to give some newness to the project for the fort. Okay, so rejuvenation project for the fort, he seeked about nearly 20 crores. So now the question for us is that where is this Kalaburgi fort located? So Kalaburgi fort, which is also called as Gulbarga fort, Gulbarga fort is located at Karnataka. Okay, Kalaburgai lo Karnataka. It's it Karnataka, which is built by Raja Gulchand, a Kakatiya feudatory in 12th century. In 12th century, it was built by in 12th century, it was built by Raja Gulchand. Raja Gulchand. So from where the term Gulbarga arrived? From Gulbarga, Kalaburgi term arrived. So at present it is called as Kalaburgi fort. So later after the kingdom was taken by Bahmanis, so Alauddin Hassan Bahman Shah of Bahmani dynasty, who ruled the place for nearly longer period of time, have actually strengthened the fort, remodified the fort, gave a new look to the fort without destroying it. Remember, without destroying it. So later it served as the capital for Bahmani Sultanates. So a major Deccan Muslim power of the medieval Indian period. So we all know about these aspects. Okay. So here it shows the blend of Hindu as well as Islamic architecture. So which is Indo-Islamic. It has a blend of Indo-Islamic architecture. So on the hilltop, it has mosque, palaces, tombs in granite as well as limestone. So it has nearly towers, 15 towers, 26 guns, each gun approximately 8 meters long. It has 8 meters long and still it is well preserved. Even to this day, so this is clearly preserved. So Kala Burgi Fort is in use because their MP asked for rejuvenating the project of Kala Burgi. So which was ruled by Kakatiyas as well as Bahmanis. So here we can precisely tell that, we can clearly tell that, so all the structural architectural features which were built by earlier Vedic religion following dynasties were not all destroyed. So some were actually preserved, kept intact, and sometimes they were rejuvenated also. So for that, the best example can be Kalaburgi Fort, or which is also called as Gulbarga Fort, okay, which was initially set up by Kakatiyas, but later it was rejuvenated by Bahmanis. Clear? So this is all about Kala Burge Fort. Next, coming to merchant discount ratio. So what do you understand by merchant discount ratio? So which is hitting the headlines in all the major newspapers, merchant discount ratio, that the government is going to charge your UPI. The government is going to charge your UPI. So basically, let us understand the few concept is that when you are using UPI, so we everybody are, it has become, we everybody are using UPI in our daily life. It has become part and parcel of our daily transactions. Yes. So money inflow and outflow has been mostly done with the help of UPI. So UPI, which means Unified Payment Inference. So for which the government from 2020 is providing free for everybody. So here how the system works, let us understand. If a person is borrowing some X amount from another person. For suppose if you are borrowing some X amount, so probably you assume might be some 5,000 you are borrowing from your friend. Okay, he has to send you some 5,000. So if he is sending you 5,000, this is called as person to person payment. So person to person UPI. Okay. So for suppose you are buying with the same amount you borrowed from your friend. So these 5,000 you are sending from person to merchant. Who is this merchant? So merchant, which means who is conducting business. For suppose you purchase some fruits, vegetables. So these persons who are conducting business, so this is called as person to merchant. So person to merchant. So those who are having any sorts of business transactions. So person to person, which means our day-to-day friends. So here the government states that this is entirely free in nature, and person to person kind of UPI transactions are not going to be charged any longer. Okay, so that was it in practice from the year 2020. But so government recently has come up with Taxation and Other Laws Amendment Bill 2026. So which is actually empowering the government to levy merchant discount rate 0.25 to 0.4 on, remember, select business, not on all type of business, but only on select business, business directed UPI transactions. So if the transaction what you are doing is business oriented in nature, then the government is going to levy the tax of 0.25 to 0.4 percentage, 0.4 percentage, depending on the transactions. So it is not standard that you are paying 0.25 always. It is not standard that you are paying 0.4% always. So whereas, so similarly, if you see, you have only, I think, within the, if you are drawing amount from the ATM, if you're drawing amount from the ATM, so nearly you can draw, I think, assume that earlier it was nearly 5 times you can draw for free in the home bank. For outside the bank, you can draw, sorry, outside the bank you can draw, outside your home bank you can draw 5 times a month, and other than 5 times you will be charged, you will be charged precisely. So similar things apply here. It will be depending on the amount of transactions. So with respect to that, government has clarified that proposed MDR, merchant discount rate on UPI, will be nominal, applying only above a threshold. So only above certain percentage it will be applicable, not for all. Threshold for a select merchants. It will be only applicable for a select merchants, but not for everybody. Okay, so if a small business like a small stall or a vegetable stall, so they will not be charged. Next, coming to a fee merchant pays to acceptable digital payments covering processor in interchange, assessment and makeup. Markup fees typically 1 to 3 percentage, typically 1 to 3 percentage. Okay, so here when you are doing transaction either from person to person or person to merchant, okay, so here during the process what happens is your bank account will be deducted and it will be credited to the bank account of the other person. So here in between this process it has to be charged, right? So this charged process earlier government was providing with subsidy, but from now on, government is trying to levy some sort of fees on this. This is not directly tax. So remember, this is not directly tax. So, but it is a form of fees. Okay, it is a form of fees. So earlier, since it was free, so we all got habituated and addicted to this UPI transactions. But now government is trying to impose certain fees with respect to this. Okay, so MDR on UPI Rupee debit card was removed in 2020. Actually, why it was removed is that to boost adaptation. So it actually wanted to make you adapted. So we all got adapted to UPI. Industry has become compensated has since been compensated via subsidy. So since then government has been providing subsidy for this. So but now government is not willing to, it is providing subsidy, but it is willing to charge from us also. So all person to person transactions will stay free. So I discussed till now what is person to person transaction, right? So like small merchants, payments below a value threshold remain exempt. Certain value will be exempted, per as per person to person transaction. So MDR, so merchant discount rate is not a flat rate, is not a flat rate. It varies actually across the cards. It depends on the cards, it depends on your, whether you are using platinum card, whether you are using gold card. So depending on the card you are using, it will be charged. Depending on the UPI wallet you are using, depending on the various other kinds of wallets, whatever wallet you are using, depending on the EMI and BNPN provided by the provider as well as arrangement. So this is all about merchant discount ratio. So merchant discount ratio, which is in news. Okay. So person to person kind of transaction are completely free. So here you should be very clear with respect to the statements formation from this area. So consider the following statements regarding merchant discount ratio. The first statement I can give you is all person to person transfers using UPI are staying to be levied at 0.25 percentage. Now here you see I told it is they are going to be free, and MDR will be applicable to merchants depending on a specific threshold, and MDR is going to be a flat rate. Is it going to be a flat rate? No, it varies according to cards, UPI transactions, according to wallets you use. All these are going to change for a little. So this is all about merchant discount ratio. So what is useful for with respect to our preparation? So next, moving forward, Teris Madhusudano Dani. So Teris Madhusudano the Nani. So here, before we discuss about the species which is in news, so we have to know about the scientist who worked at University of Calcutta. He worked at University of Calcutta. He was a great botanist. His work include he worked mostly on ferns. So what are these ferns? What are these ferns? These ferns are non-flowering plants. These ferns are non-flowering plants. So Madhusudana Nani has worked extensively on ferns. Ferns are a type of plants which are non-flowering in nature. Plant kingdom consists of two different types of plants, where one kind of plants are flowers, so which are flowering plants. They come under first category. The second category are non-flowering plants. So when they are non-flowering in nature, they how do they reproduce? They reproduce by spores. They reproduce by spores. Okay, they reproduce by flowers. We know flowering plants reproduce by flowers, seeds. So whereas with respect to ferns, they reproduce by spores. So in recognition of its efforts, in recognition of such eminent scientists, a new plant species has been named after him, that is Teres Madhusudano Nani. So we all know this is genus and this is species. So species name is added to this genus name, remembering his contribution in the field of ferns. Okay, so where this species has been discovered, where this plant species has been discovered. So till now I was discussing that his name was added. He worked on ferns. So which means this species is going to be a fern species, okay, which is non-flowering in nature. So where it was discovered? So it was discovered at Eastern Ghats, Tamil Nadu, Koli Hills, okay, so which is critically endangered fern species. Critically endangered fern species. So here, why it is critically endangered is that, so it is has extremely small habitat range. It flourishes only in very small habitat range, plus human encroachments pressure. So now you consider if it is a beautiful flowering rose plant. If you see any very pinkish flowering rose plant, eventually what you will do, you try to pluck it or you try to help it grow. But if it is a non-flowering plant, you don't feel any attachment to the plant to save it. So that is why its habitat is very small, and also humans started encroaching. So they feel that these non-flowering type, sorry, humans all feel that these non-flowering type of plants do not have any sorts of significance. Okay, so it is only found at only in two sites, totaling about 8 square kilometers only. That is why which has put it under critically endangered species. So here it is how it is identified. Now you see, if you have to identify a new plant species, so what are the different stages that it has to, the scientist has to check. The scientist or botanist will check the type of leaf, how the veins in the leaf have been arranged, how the leaves are arranged, whether the leaves are arranged parallelly or perpendicularly. Okay, so how the veins in the leaves are arranged, whether it is parallel venation or reticulate venation. So these are the types how the veins in the leaf are being organized, and how the leaves are attached to the plant. So all these conditions will be learned clearly. So only after learning those, a new species will be identified. So the amount of greenness in the leaf, okay, these all helps in identifying a new plant species. Okay, so here it is quite distinct because it has a prominent lobe at the base of the lower leaf segment. Okay, so here at the base of the leaf there is a prominent lobe. So lobe means which is a very roundish in structure which gets attached to the leaf. Okay, and it has, which is unique, pinna pinnule leaflet arrangement. So it is a type of leaflets which are arranged in a plant. Pinna pinnule leaflet arrangements. And again, technically, with which when viewed under microscope, they show a narrow, wavy edged cingulum bud, unlike smooth, wider belts of related species. So related species have smooth belt, whereas it doesn't have. It has a narrow, wavy edged cingulum belt. So this is all about Teres Madhusudano Nani. So moving forward, we have another important medal which is in news is that Dirac medal. So you have prominently heard about Nobel Peace Prize, Nobel medal, various kinds of medals. But Dirac medal has something significance because for 2026, Dirac medal has been achieved by our Indian for his contribution in theoretical physics. Theoretical physics, the award has been conferred to Deepak Dar. Deepak Dar from Uttar Pradesh, 2026 Dirac Medal. 2026 Dirac Medal. So here, why is this award conferred on him? What is his significance? Is that he worked on statistical methods, proving how when an experiment is conducted for a smaller group of population, how this smaller group of population can be applicable to larger group of population. Okay, so you see, when you conduct an experiment in a lab, when we conduct an experiment in a lab, so we do it for only a group of animals. If you have to check the dosage of animals, so then you do it in a group of 10 to 15 animals or 100 to 200 animals. But how this becomes relevance for 1 lakh or 1 crore population, this was studied by Deepak Dar. So for his contribution he was awarded Dirac medal. So Dirac is an england england mathematician and physicist. So he is from England. He is a mathematician, and for his contributions to theoretical physics, the award has been named on his name, Dirac Medal. So, which is every year the nominees are selected by International Center for Theoretical Physics. International Center for Theoretical Physics. So they picks up with the help of international committee the members who are eligible for Dirac Medal. Okay, so next, it is not given. Actually, those who already were awarded with Nobel Peace Prize or Field Medalist or Wolf Prize winners, so carries US dollars 5,000 prize and above. For those who are having all this, they will not be awarded again Dirac Medal. Okay, so here, with respect to ICTP, International Center for Theoretical Physics, they established in the year 1964 at Italy, Trieste. It is UNESCO's Category 1 institute under a tripartite Italy UNESCO IAEA agreement. IAEA agreement. So this is all about Dirac model. So they can ask you in the examination directly. So which of the following person has been selected for Dirac model? So Dirac medal every year is awarded for which of the following sectors. So in theoretical physics. So Dirac is named after an Indian scientist. Is it the statement stay? No. Is the statement true? No. So Dirac medal is awarded in the contribution of England mathematician as well as physicist. So Dirac, this is all about Dirac medal. Next, moving forward, we have Eco Educational Hub. Eco Educational Hub. So what is this Eco Educational Hub? Have you heard about it? So simply, you read everything in your textbooks. We read everything in our textbooks, isn't it? So as till now I was discussing about flowering plants, non-flowering plants. So if you have to really feel them, if you have to really experience them, so to give you such kind of experience, to actually give you such kind of experience, so CSIR, National Botanical Research Institute, which is located at Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh, has come up with a unique idea is giving which is to give generations the experience of ecology, so which is actually funded or which is actually the brainchild of Ministry of Science and Technology. So it has come up with India's dedicated first eco educational hub, prakriti Nyan Dam. Prakriti Nyan Dam, so which has three different components. There are three different components in eco educational hub, which is very important because they can ask you Pavanpat, Vaibhav enclave and Bhairav enclave. All these on the one side and the definitions of them in the other side, and they can ask you for matchings of these different sectors. Okay, so okay, different paths, whatever it is. So for Pavan path, so what is this Pavan path? So imagine, so for suppose you are working in a Pavan path. So this here we told you they are having three different pathways: Pavan path, Vaibhav enclave as well as Bhairav enclave. So with respect to Pavan path, so it consists of curated plant collection representing different ecological regions. So it has all Malvaceae family consisting plant species, Fabaceae, Liliaceae, Solanaceae, etc. And they can also contain the plant species of tropical region. They can contain the plant species of tropical region, tropical moist region, tropical deciduous region, alpine region. Okay, so depending on the region, the species have been categorized. That is Pavan path. Okay, so all Malvaceae kind of plants will be available here. You can walk through this Pavan path and experience all these kinds of plants. Okay, so next, moving forward, we have Vaibhav enclave. So here in the Vaibhav enclave, so what kind of plants are present is that those who are plants which are facing threatened, plants which are being threatened by anything. Either may be because of humans, either it may be because of self, either it may be because of invasive species. So those species of plants which are threatened, so they will be available in Vaibhav enclave. So which is actually to spread awareness. So when you walk down the path, when you know these are the kinds of threatened species, automatically you will understand how the biodiversity has been lost, how the habitat has been degraded. Okay, clear? Is it okay? So here I think you can see Teres Madhusudano Nani species here because it is a critically threatened species. Okay. Next, coming to Bhairav enclave. So Bhairav enclave is such a unique thing because so every state plants of Indian garden will be available here. So what is the state plant of Telangana? What is the state plant of Andhra Pradesh? The state plant of Goa, the state plant of Ladakh, Jammu and Kashmir. So whatever the state plants, they will be available for us to witness, for us to feel in Bhairav enclave. So Pavan Path, Vaibhav enclave as well as Byram enclave. So these are the three different types of three different components under Eco Educational Hub. So here what does it do is that it bridges the scientific knowledge. The knowledge as of now, which is whichever is available, whatever is available in our books, so will be made to experience, will help us to experience, to feel that. So how it is critically endangered, how the species belong to so and so family, all you can feel here. So here engagement through interactive and on-ground experience. So this is about Eco Educational Hub. So which is set up under Ministry of Science and Technology, CSIR National Botanical Research Institute at Lucknow. Next, moving forward, we have explosive ordnance disposal exercise. So India and US is conducting, India as well as US is conducting various different exercises. So under which one such exercise is Indian Navy as well as US Navy. So both together are conducting one exercise which is called as explosive ordnance disposal. Explosive ordnance disposal. So since 2005 this has been conducted. So this year it is going to be the 8th edition. So this year it is going to be the 8th edition at Kochi. At Kochi till August 14. So till August 14, the scheme is going to be implemented. Sorry, the exercise is going to be conducted till August 15. So now we will understand some aspects which have to be remembered. So it is a bilateral exercise between Indian Navy as well as US Navy, conducted since 2005, which is now it is the 8th edition. So how does it help? It helps us to interoperate between the two navies, specialist diving as well as explosive ordnance disposal teams. So these two teams will be sharing their knowledge, will be understanding each other weapons. Okay, so this is the essence of having such kind of exercises. So India, it includes subject matter expert exchanges, cross training, equipment demos as well as scenario based drills. It actually facilitates the exchange of current EOD methods, whatever the current existing EOD measures are there, so that we will exchange with US and US will be exchanging with us. And we will also discussing about what are the various emerging technologies to protect our naval basins and the best practices whichever are available globally. So it signals the sustained India and US cooperation in specialized maritime operations. So this is about explosive ordnance disposal exercise. So which is in news, which is between India as well as US. It is the 8th edition since 2005 till August 14. It is going to be in news. Okay. Next, moving forward, so we will have a discussion on, we will have a quite discussion on Philippines, which is always in news. Now we will see why it is in news is that, so because of southwest monsoon and tropical cyclone, so which affected nearly 3.8 lakh people, so which affected nearly 3.8 lakh people across the 8 regions of Philippines, and which is why Philippines in the news. So now we will see the other geographical standard terms with respect to which is rich in data. So the capital of Philippines is Manila. Manila. So it is Southeast Asia's island nation in the Western Pacific. So they asked in various examination, which is in the Eastern Pacific. They gave you the entire statement as to the other part. They missed Western part. So which means it is not in the Western part, but it is in the Eastern part. It is bounded by what are the other physical boundaries? South China Sea, Philippine Sea, Celebes Sea, and Sulu Sea. South China Sea, Philippine Sea, Celebes Sea, and Sulu Sea. So here it is enclosed with all the water bodies, which is why it is the island. So here it experiences tropical monsoon climate. The highest point here is that Mount Abu. The longest river is Cagayan River. Active volcanoes, it includes Mayan, mostly which is very active, Mayan volcano, Bulusan volcano as well as Canlawan volcano. So they can ask you what are the active volcanoes in Philippines. Simply because Philippines is in use and it is experiencing severe southwest monsoons for which several people have been suffering. So for which they can ask you what are the active volcanoes in Philippines. Okay. So next, it is the world's third largest. It produces world's third largest geothermal energy. So geothermal energy producer after US as well as Indonesia. Indonesia, US and Philippines. And now with respect to this, kindly do comment where does India's position stand with respect to geothermal energy. So with respect to geothermal energy, what is the position of India? How much amount of geothermal energy is India producing? So this is about Philippines. Next, moving forward, we have another important MCQs. We will be discussing about those. So, with reference to Betwa River, consider the following statements. It is a left bank tributary of Ganga River. So, is it true? What did we discuss in our class? It is the right bank tributary of River Yamuna. River Yamuna, but not River Ganga. So, it is not left, it is right. Next, it originates in the Vindhyan Hills near Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. Yes, it forms a part of Ken-Betwa River Interlinking Project. Yes, we discussed these two. Therefore, 2 and 3 are right. Next, moving forward, another question. Consider the following PACE scheme as well as who is promoting. So, Export Promotion Capital Goods, DGFT. Next, merchant discount rate on UPI, Reserve Bank of India alone, permanent pictorial cancellation, Department of Post. So this we did not discuss in the class. Later we will discuss. So here 1 and 3 statements are true. So here you see merchant discount ratio. They mentioned alone, which is not right. Okay. So now merchant discount ratio is governed by taxation and other laws bill. A government or finance ministry measures. It's not the RBI alone decision. So remember MCR merchant discount MDR is not alone decided by the RBI but by the government, which is the finance ministry, which takes a measure, and not the RBI decision alone doesn't suffice. Right? So this is all about a few MCQs. Now we have one good mains question. I will also help you how to approach the answer. The proposed levy of merchant discount rate on UPI transactions marks a shift from India's zero MDR digital payments push. Discuss the rationale behind this policy change and examine its impact on digital payment adoption on among small merchants. Okay, now, with respect to these, I think you can start by defining what is MDR, merchant discount rate, and note the 2020 zero MDR policy and UPI as well as e-rupee debit system. So this you have to quote from 2020. We are using it for free services and nobody recognizes that. Okay. So nobody till date nobody is knowing whatever is happening behind us. So we are only using it for free. Now we will actually understand what is it. So here we have to talk about ration for we have to write sorry have to write about rationale for introducing MDR, sustainability of payment ecosystem, NPCA, banks, fintechs, funding infrastructure, fraud prevention, ending in the subsidy burden on the government. Okay, so all these aspects we have to discuss. So here, with respect to this, I think you can find out how much amount the government is providing in the rate of subsidy for UPI transactions. Okay, and how does it impact small merchants? So basically, small merchants are quite happier because their business started growing because of UPI transactions. Okay, and threshold based nominal levy protects small as well as value transactions. Person to person stays free. Questions adapt ease in impact. Next, concerns. What are the various concerns regarding that we have to discuss? Risk of merchants reverting to cash if larger players pass on cost and needs to monitor over time. So here you talk about the way forward. So with respect to way forward, calibrated, transparent MDR slabs have to be taken place. Continued subsidy for small merchants, periodic review of the policy is necessary. So this is all about 11th August 2026. So thank you so much. Keep revising. We from Decode UPSC will be helping you with daily current affairs. So apart from this, if you need any help with respect to your any preparations, either it may be state PCS or UPSC, kindly do comment in the comment section. I will be happy to help you.